The alien city of Zithera stretched like a living crystal across the horizon. Towers of shimmering metal reached into the violet sky, their surfaces reflecting the soft glow of twin suns. Among all the grandeur, the most imposing structure was the palace of Queen Lithera, whose reign had lasted over 3 centuries. Her power was legendary, and she ruled with both intelligence and ruthlessness. No one dared question her, and every alien subject obeyed without hesitation. Yet today was different. Today the Queen's throne room would hold a human, a being from a world she had only recently learned existed. A human in her eyes was weak and fragile. She had read about their primitive technology and unremarkable physique. She expected them to cower, to plead, to beg for mercy. What she did not expect was Captain Alex Ryder. Ryder had been captured only hours ago during an exploration mission near Zithera's border. His ship had been caught in a sudden energy net, and his team had been quickly subdued by the Zitheran guards. Alone, he had been brought before the Queen. Unlike most of the alien soldiers, he showed no fear. He walked calmly into the throne room, his uniform slightly torn but his posture steady. His brown eyes scanned the hall, noting the strange architecture, the flowing energy patterns on the walls, and the alien guards who flanked the pathway. Queen Lithera's voice echoed through the hall, deep and commanding. "Human," she said, her words precise and deliberate, "you have trespassed on Zitheran territory. Tell me your purpose." Ryder's gaze met hers without hesitation. "I am Captain Alex Ryder of the United Earth Expedition. We were exploring space. I had no intention of entering Zitheran lands illegally. I seek peaceful contact." The Queen raised an eyebrow, clearly amused. "Peaceful contact?" she repeated. "Your kind is known for violence and weakness. How can a human be so calm in my presence?" Ryder did not falter. "I am trained to face danger," he said. "I may be human, but courage is not limited to any species." Lithera's mandibles clicked in an almost curious rhythm. No other being had spoken to her like this. No one had ever dared claim courage in her presence. Even her advisors whispered to one another, concerned about this human's audacity. "You are bold," Lithera said slowly, "but boldness alone will not save you." She raised a hand, and a holographic display flickered into existence before Ryder. Streams of light coalesced into complex shapes and alien weapons. "This is Zitheran defense technology. One wrong move and you will be destroyed. Step carefully." Ryder studied the projection, noting the intricate patterns of energy that controlled the devices. He was human, yes, but he was also a soldier, trained to think quickly in dangerous situations. His mind raced, analyzing the mechanisms. When one of the devices suddenly surged with uncontrolled energy, threatening a lower-ranking alien soldier standing too close, Ryder reacted. He lunged forward, pressing a control panel instinctively, and diverted the energy safely into a containment field. The soldier was unharmed. The throne room fell silent. Queen Lithera's eyes widened. "You saved a Zitheran from harm?" she said. "With nothing but instinct and courage?" "I did what anyone would do to prevent needless death," Ryder said simply. "Human or Zitheran, life matters." The Queen turned her gaze to her advisors. "Observe him closely. He is no ordinary human." She felt a strange stirring in her chest, a mixture of curiosity and something she could not define. For centuries she had ruled without doubt. Now, a single human stood before her, unshaken and resolute, and she found herself questioning what she thought she knew. Hours passed. Ryder was confined to a special chamber within the palace. He had no weapons, but he had freedom to move within the room. He spent the time studying Zitheran culture, their writings, and the palace architecture. He noticed the energy conduits, the subtle ways the building responded to thought and intention. Humans were far less technologically advanced, but Ryder had one advantage that no Zitheran could match: unpredictability. While the aliens relied on precision and calculation, Ryder relied on intuition and adaptability. Meanwhile, Lithera could not take her mind off him. She had summoned him several times for questioning, each session ending with her growing respect and puzzlement. Her advisors were increasingly uneasy. "My queen," one of them whispered. "He is dangerous in ways we do not understand. Perhaps we should execute him." Lithera's eyes narrowed. "Dangerous, perhaps, but not in the way you think. He does not act out of fear or malice. He acts out of thought and principle." She paused, her gaze drifting to the chamber where Ryder now walked, seemingly lost in thought. "He is remarkable." The following day, a challenge arose. A malfunction in the palace's energy grid caused a surge in one of the main corridors. Normally, the alien guards would have panicked or waited for Lithera's orders. But Ryder, witnessing the danger, ran into the corridor. He assessed the situation quickly, his human mind recognizing patterns and making connections the aliens overlooked. With careful timing and precise action, he redirected the energy, preventing catastrophic damage. Several guards looked on in amazement. When the Queen arrived to see the aftermath, Ryder stood calmly, slightly singed but unharmed. "You see," he said quietly, "sometimes courage and quick thinking matter more than strength or advanced technology." Lithera's mandibles clicked again, almost in admiration. She realized that his bravery was not reckless. It was intelligent and purposeful. Her advisors whispered furiously, but she raised a hand, silencing them. She had begun to understand that Ryder's courage was changing the dynamics within her palace. Even her guards looked at him differently, some with respect, others with envy. Later, during a council meeting, Lithera addressed her advisors. "We must decide what to do with him," she said. "Some of you suggest execution. Some suggest imprisonment. I see something different. I see potential. He is a human, yes, but his bravery and wisdom may be valuable to us. We must consider carefully." The advisors were shocked. "My queen, he is still a stranger. He comes from a world we do not know." "Can we trust him?" one of them asked. Lithera's gaze hardened. "Trust is earned, not given. He has already earned something far greater than most of our own subjects, respect. Do not mistake his kind demeanor for weakness. Observe him. Learn from him." That night, Ryder stood on a balcony overlooking Zithara's glowing cityscape. Twin suns set in the distance, casting long shadows over the crystal towers. He had no idea what the Queen's decision would be, but he remained calm. His life was uncertain, but he had one principle. Courage and integrity could open doors even in the most alien of worlds. As he watched the city, he reflected on the Queen's demeanor during their interactions. She was not cruel, not unnecessarily so. She was intelligent, commanding, and curious, a ruler in every sense of the word. If he could prove to her the value of human courage, perhaps he could change her perception of his species. Perhaps he could make a difference not just for himself, but for Earth. Meanwhile, in her private chambers, Lithera stood before a holographic projection of Ryder. She studied him carefully, noting his posture, his calm demeanor, and the unwavering focus in his eyes. "How," she whispered to herself, "can one human possess such courage?" For centuries, she had believed her people were unmatched in bravery and intellect. Yet here was a human, challenging every assumption she had held. Sleep came reluctantly for the Queen. Her thoughts kept returning to Ryder, to his actions, and to the way he had saved a Zithran without seeking reward or favor. She could not deny it. He had changed the way she saw humans. She wondered what else he might do if given the opportunity. What other surprises could this fragile, persistent species hold? The next morning, the palace buzzed with tension. The council awaited the Queen's decision. Ryder was summoned once more, escorted into the throne room. This time, the room felt different. The usual aura of fear was replaced by anticipation. Everyone sensed that something important was about to happen. Queen Lithera regarded Ryder carefully. "Human," she said, "you have demonstrated courage beyond what I expected. Your actions have saved lives and prevented destruction. You are no longer merely a captive. I grant you limited freedom within this palace. Observe, learn, and prove your value. If you succeed, you may change the way Zithara views humans forever." Ryder's eyes brightened, but he remained composed. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will do my best." He knew the road ahead would be difficult. The palace was full of politics, intrigue, and alien minds that would test him at every turn. But he also knew that one human could make a difference, even on a world as distant and advanced as Zithara. As Ryder was led to his new quarters, Lithera watched silently. She could not have anticipated how one human could challenge her perceptions, disrupt the routines of her palace, and inspire her guards to think differently. A seed of change had been planted, and she had no idea how far it might grow. For the first time in her long reign, Queen Lithera felt uncertain. But in that uncertainty, she sensed something exciting, something unprecedented, and so, the human captive began to walk the corridors of the alien palace, not as a prisoner, but as a catalyst for change. His courage, intelligence, and unwavering principles would soon test the Queen's assumptions, challenge her advisors, and show Zithra that humanity was far more capable than they had ever imagined. The journey had only just begun. Captain Alex Ryder moved through the palace corridors with a new sense of purpose. The Queen had granted him limited freedom, and he intended to use it wisely. Each hall, each chamber, and every interaction was an opportunity to learn about Zithran technology, culture, and politics. But more importantly, he wanted to show that human courage and ingenuity could make a difference on a world far from Earth. Queen Lithera watched him from her private chambers, intrigued by how a single human could influence her palace. He was unlike any other being she had encountered. Other captives would have cowered, begged, or attempted deception. Ryder did none of these. Instead, he acted with calm confidence, intelligence, and respect. Each time he faced a challenge, he responded with courage, surprising not only the Queen but her advisors and guards as well. It was not long before an unforeseen crisis arose. A rebellion erupted within the palace. A faction of advisors and military officers who resented the Queen's decision sought to seize power. They began taking control of key energy nodes and security systems, intending to imprison the Queen and claim Zithra's throne. The palace, normally a place of strict order, descended into chaos. Ryder, observing the situation from his quarters, quickly assessed the threat. He understood the palace's layout, the energy conduits, and the weak points in the security grid. While Zithrans relied on strict protocols, Ryder relied on intuition and adaptability. He moved swiftly through the corridors, avoiding patrols and intercepting guards where necessary. When he reached one of the main energy nodes, he saw a group of rebellious officers attempting to overload the system, which would have caused a catastrophic explosion. Without hesitation, Ryder disabled the overload using a combination of human improvisation and Zithran controls. The officers turned toward him, surprised by the human's presence and skill. Ryder did not falter. With precise commands and quick thinking, he incapacitated them without unnecessary harm. Queen Lithera arrived shortly afterward. She had heard reports of a human moving through the palace, intervening in critical moments. When she saw Ryder standing amidst subdued rebels, unharmed and composed, she felt a mixture of astonishment and admiration. "You risked your life to protect this palace and my life," she said. "Why?" Ryder met her gaze steadily. "Because courage and honor are not limited to one species. I do what I can to prevent unnecessary suffering, human or Zithran." For the first time in her reign, Lithera experienced something beyond authority and control. She saw bravery as not just strength, but moral action, intelligence, and selflessness. Ryder had earned her trust in a way no Zithran ever could. With the rebellion quelled, the Queen called a council meeting to address the larger threat facing Zithra. Sensors detected an approaching fleet of hostile aliens, far larger and more technologically advanced than anything Zithra had faced before. Panic and fear spread through the court. Ryder stepped forward. "Your Majesty," he said, "I may have ideas that could help. The Zithrans rely on precision and predictability. The enemy may not expect tactics based on unpredictability and adaptability. If we combine your technology with human strategy, we might have a chance." The Queen studied him carefully. Trusting a human to guide military decisions was unprecedented. Yet after witnessing his courage and insight, she had no reason to doubt him. "Explain your plan," she commanded. Ryder outlined a strategy that relied on deception, mobility, and exploiting the enemy's assumptions. Zithran forces would appear to retreat in some sectors, while concentrating strength in others. Hidden human-devised maneuvers would confuse and misdirect the attackers. The Queen listened intently, noting that Ryder's plan emphasized not only intelligence but creativity, something her structured military system often overlooked. The next day, the battle began. Zithran ships moved according to Ryder's strategy, appearing vulnerable in certain areas while secretly prepared to strike. Enemy forces advanced with confidence, expecting a predictable defense. Instead, they were met with sudden ambushes, unexpected maneuvers, and coordinated counterattacks. Ryder moved between command nodes, adjusting tactics in real time, relying on his intuition and understanding of both human and Zithran capabilities. In the midst of the battle, a critical enemy vessel broke through the outer defenses and headed straight for the palace. Ryder acted immediately, guiding Zithran strike teams to intercept the intruder. Using combined tactics, they disabled the ship's engines and forced it to retreat. The palace remained safe. When the battle concluded, the queen summoned Ryder to her throne room. The Zitharan court waited in anticipation, curious about the outcome. Ryder stood before Lithra, slightly fatigued but calm. The queen's gaze swept over him, her eyes reflecting both awe and respect. "You have done what I never expected a human to do," she said. "You saved Zithra and my life. You have shown courage, intelligence, and leadership beyond any of my advisors. You have changed how I see your species forever." Ryder bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what I believed was right." Lithra nodded. "Your actions have not only protected Zithra, but they have also inspired my people. Many of my guards and soldiers have seen what you can do. They will no longer underestimate humans. You have earned a place here as an advisor, a protector, and a symbol of courage." The court erupted in murmurs. Zitharans were known for pride and discipline, and recognition of a human's worth in such a way was unprecedented. Some advisors were reluctant, clinging to old prejudices, but even they could not deny the results. Ryder had proven that bravery, intelligence, and moral conviction were universal qualities, transcending species. In the days following the battle, Ryder worked closely with the queen. Together, they implemented new strategies to strengthen Zithra's defenses. Ryder shared knowledge from Earth, blending human ingenuity with Zitharan technology. The queen observed his methods and began to see the value of human unpredictability, creativity, and courage in a way that transformed her leadership. Beyond the palace, Ryder became a symbol of what humans could achieve. Stories of his bravery spread throughout Zithra, inspiring both soldiers and citizens. They began to question old assumptions, recognizing that courage and honor were not limited to their own species. Lithra, meanwhile, reflected on the lessons Ryder had taught her. She had ruled for centuries, confident in her knowledge and authority. Yet Ryder had shown her that even the most advanced society could benefit from fresh perspectives and unexpected courage. His presence reminded her that leadership was not only about power, but about understanding, trust, and the willingness to embrace the unknown. One evening, Ryder and Lithra stood together on a balcony overlooking Zithra's glowing capital. Twin suns bathed the city in warm light, casting reflections across the crystal towers. Ryder looked out at the horizon, contemplating the vast universe and the challenges humanity had yet to face. "You have changed more than just my perception of humans," Lithra said quietly. "You have changed, Zithra. Your courage has inspired my people and reminded me that even in the most controlled world, bravery and honor can make a difference." Ryder turned to her, a faint smile on his face. "I only hope that humans and Zitharans can continue to learn from each other. There is much we can accomplish together." Lithra nodded. "Indeed. Perhaps one day our worlds will stand not as strangers but as allies, and it will begin with courage, yours and the principles you embody." In that moment, a new understanding was forged. Two worlds, once separated by distance and assumptions, were connected by respect, trust, and bravery. Ryder, a human far from Earth, had not only survived in an alien palace, but had earned the admiration of a queen and changed the course of an entire civilization. The journey had been perilous, filled with uncertainty and danger. Yet it had proven that courage, intelligence, and moral conviction were qualities that could not be confined to any one species. In Ryder, Zithra had witnessed the best of humanity, and in doing so, had discovered a new path forward. As the twin suns set over Zithra, casting long shadows over the crystal city, Ryder and Lithra stood side by side looking toward the stars. The universe was vast, full of challenges and opportunities, but for the first time both human and Zithran alike understood that true bravery could bridge any distance, overcome any fear, and transform even the most rigid of worlds. And so, a human soldier, once a captive, became a symbol of hope, courage, and the extraordinary potential of humanity. Queen Lithra, once skeptical and proud, learned that even in her long reign there was always room for surprise, respect, and inspiration. Together, they looked to the future, knowing that the story of their worlds had only just begun.